I forgot how useless men are nowadays.
Hi, if you're a man, boy, that gets offended by the phrase kill all men, you are an embarrassment.
Do you think men are important? Like for what?
Men are horrible, okay? I mean, I have to just tell it to you like it is, honey, but all men are awful.
You think about it, there's nothing to appreciate a man for.
The Navy SEAL who died in the daring rescue mission in Afghanistan.
In Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever he was needed, Jack carried out dangerous missions.
Going down to the top, it looks like it's totally glowing red. On the inside, it's inevitable. I don't think this has too much longer to go.
DeMarco and Biore, along with Sergeant Michael Curtin and Officer John Delara, saved civilians from certain death.
What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working on the sewers. They're up on the power lines in the storms and the rain. For keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning, this thing that works in a miraculous manner.
Isn't it incredibly sad that these women have been led to think that men, or rather all men, are utterly useless? I'd even bet that they truly believe that with all their hearts. They are so blind to the fact that nearly everything they use on a daily basis was made by men who they hate so much. All the dangerous and dirty jobs, do you know who makes the majority of these jobs? That's right, it's men. What do the stats say? According to this article, there were 4,836 fatal work injuries in 2015, not counting active members of the US Armed Forces. 10 industries in particular saw the highest rate of deaths per 100,000 full-time workers. Most of these jobs are done by men. I understand that the article is pointing to a time in the past, but still, since then, not so much has changed. The fact still remains that men work more dangerous jobs. Frequently, you'll see men standing in very dangerous positions, let's say, at the very top of a building being erected, and down below him are pointed spikes of steel rods. One miscalculated move and you're dead. You'll see men in the sewers enduring the horrible stench down there. Here's a man on top of a very tall communication mast, making sure that people get proper networks at the comfort of their homes, but yet little appreciation is their reward. A part of the reason why there are women who are resentful towards men also has to do with irresponsible men whose actions have hurt other women, and these women on the other hand have retaliated negatively, putting men in this cluster of undesirable creatures to be shunned from. And that's why you as a man need to actually watch out so that you won't be one of those men. The salty women's resentment, however, is also rooted in the lack of perspective on things that really matter to many people. It stems from ignorance and narcissism. It is no surprise that in the Bible it is written that in the last days people have the following traits. This is from 2 Timothy chapter 3, 1-5. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. I mean, look at our world. Do you see that everywhere? Isn't everything upside down? What is good and virtuous is deemed as bad. What is bitter is rather sweet. What is evil is termed as good. Porn is a good example. It is one of the most destructive things to anyone, but yet it's no big deal. I am a big believer that human beings are made in the image of God. It is not right to treat any human being as one without any dignity. In the beginning, before God created man, he said this, "Let us therefore make man in our own image according to our likeness," and that by itself gives every human being an innate value. So when you see human beings degrading each other, it is heartbreaking. I'm sure you'd be very pissed off if you were to see a helpless child being bullied, and I'm even certain you were a little agitated by those in the video intro. We as human beings are created in the image of God, and that means that we are the image bearers of God. We are certainly not a bunch of meat sacks floating around on a rock in space, because if we were just that, nihilism would have every right to torment us. We have innate value, so don't treat other human beings as if they are useless, good-for-nothing human beings. Let us be kind, respectful, and compassionate towards each other. If we end up fighting amongst each other, then we will eventually devour one another.